It's Saturday, the weather is beautiful, and it's time to make a steak dinner with mushroom sauce and shallow fried Greek potatoes.
Yummy!
Oh hell yeah, it's gonna be. I have here 4 beautiful New York strips. By the way, we cut them out ourselves of a whole short loin. There's an episode down below.
That is the episode, you can see the link.
Now what we want to do is, I've taken a baking pan here with a grate so that we can keep the steaks up in the air, and then we're gonna salt them. And it's important they are on this so they get air all around, because we're gonna leave them in the fridge to absorb all the salt here through osmosis. So flip it around, give it a coating on the other side. You want to give it some salt, but don't overdo it. So something like that looks good.
Yeah, they have to be eatable.
Yeah, of course, of course. No, but this is a perfect way to do it. And a lot of people, they say, don't salt your steaks before and they will dry out. Exactly the opposite is going to happen, because the salt will draw out the moisture from the beef to the surface, and then by osmosis it will go back in and drag the salt with it. And then actually you get a more juicy steak by doing it this way. So.
And you get the flavor
yes.
of the salt. I mean,
exactly.
It's not the same. It is nice also when you put on top, but it's also nice when it has it from within.
Yeah, I like it. I like it from within
I like
also.
both ways. But.
And today we're going to leave these in the fridge for, I would say, maybe an hour and a half, depending how long time we have. You could do this even the day before in the evening. The only important thing is that you leave it uncovered in the fridge. And now they go in the fridge while we prepare our mushroom sauce. And the mushrooms we have chosen for the sauce is brown button mushrooms that have been cleaned. If the stems are a little bit too long, then we can cut them off, but don't break them out. We want to have the looks of the mushroom when they shrink up. That looks beautiful in the sauce. And we just slice them up like this thickness, and then they are ready. In a shallow pot or a pan, we add a couple of tablespoons of olive oil, maybe 3 like that. And then I have 4 finely diced shallots that we're going to add here. And then we're going to let them caramelize here over low heat. Don't do it too fast. We want them to soften up slowly so they get sweeter in flavor for our sauce. When they're nice and soft, we make a spot here in the middle, and then we have 2 cloves of garlic. We're going to mince straight in. Wow, they are tough. Wow, there we go. Oh, there was also a big one, look.
They were resisting.
Yeah, they didn't want to. And we just give them 30 seconds just to become fragrant. We stir it in, and then we add all of our mushrooms, and then we give it a good stir. And now we have to let the mushrooms saute until they have released all their water. When the water is gone and they are nice and brown like this, then we're going to heat it with 200 milliliters of red wine to deglaze the pan.
You can also use white wine, right?
Of course,
yeah.
Of course. Now I just prefer today to go with the red to make it a little bit darker maybe. And then we let the alcohol evaporate from that. And then untraditionally, I'm going to give it a couple of tablespoons of soy sauce to give it some nice umami flavor here. You can always add that to almost anything, at least sauces. It gives great flavor. In with that, and how much do we measure here? 700, I think it was 700 milliliter of broth. You can use chicken broth, you can use beef broth, depending on your flavor of the day. And now we bring that back to a simmer. And last but not least, 300 milliliter of cream. Heavy cream, light cream, your choice. Like that. And 2 tablespoons of dried thyme. A good pinch of black pepper. I don't know how much. Let's say 2 pinches. And the same with the salt for now.
Yeah, till we taste it.
Yeah, exactly. So, get a good mix on this, and then we let this simmer away while we make the rest. Our steaks are ready out of the fridge, and look how they changed color. They became much darker. It really looks good. Now we're going to reverse sear them today. So I have the gas grill running with the 2 outer burners on minimum. And then we're going to place the steaks up here on our heating rack. I have an ambient thermometer probe hanging here, and then I'm going to put a probe in one of the steaks also. But since I have the outer burners running, I'm going to put the smaller steaks in the middle and the 2 bigger ones on the outside, so we get an even cook on them. And I'm gonna add a temperature probe here in the center so we can see how it's going. We are going to be aiming for an internal temperature of 50, 51 before we pull them, so that the carryover will take them up before we sear them. Time for our fries. On a large frying pan here, I'm gonna add a layer of oil, let's say
generous layer.
It's half a centimeter. I said it would be a shallow fry, and that's what we're doing. So I would say something like that. We can always add more if we're gonna need it. And we have our potatoes cut and rinsed a couple of times so we got rid of the starch. I'm just gonna add them here carefully and let it come up to temperature. And we let them go on not too high heat. You want them to cook slowly, fry on, let's say, relatively low, so they cook nicely all the way through.
Till they're golden.
That is the Greek way. The potatoes, they're starting to turn golden on the downside, so we want to flip them. And for the record, the sauce smells amazing. See, they're starting to get slightly golden here, so we want to flip them over. I don't want to throw them with the pan like this because there's too much oil for that, and then we just have splatter all over, and then I get in trouble with my wife. Our sauce is reducing nicely, and see here, when you drag the spoon, you get a trail like that. Then you have that pan sauce consistency that we're looking for. But let me just give it a try here to see for saltiness, stuff like that. It's good. It's perfect.
It's a good one.
But you can, you can eat this with a spoon. You can eat this with a spoon.
No, but the good thing is you can put it on steaks, on chicken, on pasta. I mean,
whatever.
I love it.
It's so versatile, that sauce. But this is done. It's perfect. It has the consistency I like. If you want to let it go thicker, you can do that. That's all up to you. Our thickest steak is rocking there in the mid-40s, but I want to give a check on the smaller ones in the middle to make sure that we don't overdo them. Here we are. 50, 51, 51. Ooh, 51.5. So we're getting there. Actually, we're gonna yank. Let me just check this one also on the side here. This is still only 47, 48. So that means the smaller one in the middle here, they're coming off. And then we're gonna put some foil over them, so they can rest here, while the others, they come up to the same temperature. The other two, they're coming up to temp, so let's just give them a final check here. 52. Almost 51. We're coming also here on 53 actually, so they are definitely gonna go out with those. And then we're gonna fire up the grill. Let me get that out. There we go. And now I'm gonna turn on all burners, all 5 burners on full, and now we're gonna let this get screaming hot before we sear off our steaks. The gas grill is screaming hot and the steaks, they have rested a bit, so now it's time to sear them off. Ooh, ooh, that's hot.
That's my favorite part actually.
Listen to that. That's gonna get really, really good. Let's see how we're doing here. I'm getting some, oh, look at that. That looks good.
That's
I'm gonna give them
marks.
just, for now, 45 and give them another maybe 45 seconds on that side. And then we're gonna flip them. That's gonna, I just want them to have a nice decor, you know.
Yeah.
And look how pretty they are. with a little cross pattern there.
It smells amazing.
Oh, this is to die for. This smells so good. And that looks amazing. They're ready to come off onto the board with those. I want to cut into them to see how we did. Sure, we did well, but let's go have a look. So now the moment of truth. Let's see how we did here. And see if that is not perfect, juicy, medium rare. Oh, that looks good. I don't know if the camera can catch this, but it's perfect, just perfect. And I'm gonna have a taste.
I'm jealous, come on, say.
It's perfect. The crust is a little bit salty, like nicely, not too much. And the steak is super tender, like super tender. Excellent. Let's plate this up so we can see the whole thing with sauce and potato.
I haven't tasted at all, and you get to have a second taste.
The other one doesn't count, that was chef's bite.
Okay.
No, now we have all of it here. Greek potatoes, mushroom sauce, and steak all together in a beautiful bite. And we want to have some mushroom here. See, that's the bite. Steak, mushroom, potato.
What's the verdict?
Honestly, you can serve this sauce over anything. I mean, it's fantastic. It complements the steak perfectly. The shallow fried potatoes are excellent. We get them all the time anyway here in Greece. But steak, medium rare to perfection, with a mushroom sauce like this, Saturday, doesn't get better.